Hello everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Classroom. This is Surya. In the last video of this reading series, we looked at the big picture. If you haven't watched it yet, the link is in the description. Now let's take a closer look at the first question type: true, false, not given, and learn exactly how to answer it step by step using real examples. Let's get started. True, false, not given gives you three possible answers, and each one means something precise. True means the passage agrees with the statement. The information is there. False means the passage contradicts the statement. It says something different. And not given means the passage doesn't mention it at all. There is simply no information. Agrees, contradicts, or stays silent. Those are your three possibilities. Before we start, remember the one rule that decides everything. You answer only from the passage, not from what you already know, not from what sounds likely, only from what the text actually says. If a statement is true in real life, but the passage doesn't say it, the answer is still not given. Leave your outside knowledge at the door. Here is a simple method you can use every time you answer a true, false, not given question. Step 1. Underline the keywords in the statement. For example, names, numbers, dates, or other important details. Step 2. Find the relevant part of the passage that discusses those keywords. Remember, the answers usually come in order, so you don't need to search the entire text from beginning to end. Step 3. Compare the meaning, not the exact words. IELTS often paraphrases information, so the wording may be different, even when the meaning is the same. Then make your decision. If the passage agrees with the statement, it's true. If the passage contradicts the statement, it's false. And if the information isn't provided in the passage, it's not given. Let's look at an example passage. Honeybees share the location of food through a movement called the waggle dance, performed inside the hive. The angle of the dance indicates direction, while its length signals distance. For decades, the dance was regarded as the colony's primary means of navigation. More recent research, however, indicates that experienced foragers depend largely on remembered landmarks, turning to the dance mainly when a food source is unfamiliar. Inexperienced bees, lacking such memories, follow it far more closely. Now, pause the video and decide whether each statement given below is true, false, or not given. Read them carefully. None of them is as simple as it looks. Let's check the answers, and more importantly, the traps behind them. Statement 1. Landmark navigation is more reliable than the waggle dance. The passage does say that experienced bees rely more on landmarks, but it never says that landmarks are more reliable or more accurate than the waggle dance. Relying on something is not the same as saying it is better. The passage doesn't make that comparison, so the answer is not given. Statement 2. Even experienced bees use the dance when a food source is new to them. The passage says that experienced bees turn to the dance mainly when a food source is unfamiliar. An unfamiliar food source is simply one that is new to them. So the statement agrees with the passage. Therefore, the answer is true. Statement 3. Experienced foragers rely on the waggle dance more than inexperienced bees do. Read carefully. The passage actually says the opposite. Experienced bees depend more on landmarks, while inexperienced bees follow the dance far more closely. In other words, the comparison has been reversed. Since the statement contradicts the passage, the answer is false. Notice two of the most common traps in true, false, not given questions. In statement 1, the writer invents a comparison that the passage never makes. In statement 3, the comparison is reversed. Let's try one more example, this time with some different traps to watch out for. Read the following passage. Caffeine is one of the most widely consumed stimulants in the world. In moderate amounts, it can sharpen attention and reduce the feeling of fatigue, which is why many people drink coffee before demanding tasks. Its effects, however, vary considerably from person to person. Some feel alert for hours, while others notice little benefit. Researchers also warn that caffeine taken late in the day can disrupt sleep, though this depends greatly on an individual's metabolism. Now, pause the video and decide whether each of the statements below is true, false, or not given. As you read, pay close attention to the small words because they often contain the trap. Let's check the answers. Statement 1. How much caffeine helps can differ from one person to the next. The passage says that its effects vary considerably from person to person. That's the same idea expressed in different words, so the answer is true. Statement 2. Everyone who consumes caffeine becomes more alert. The word everyone is the trap here. The passage says that some people feel alert while others notice little benefit. Because the statement claims that all people become more alert, it contradicts the passage. Therefore, the answer is false. Statement 3. Caffeine disrupts sleep more in older people. Be careful. The passage says that the effect depends on an individual's metabolism, but it never mentions age. Since the text provides no information about older people, there's nothing to confirm and nothing to contradict. The answer is not given, not false. The lesson here is simple. Watch out for words such as everyone, always, and all, because they often create false answers. And remember, when the passage simply doesn't mention a detail, the answer is not given. So, that's true, false, not given. 3 possible answers: agree, contradict, or not stated, all based on the information in the passage and the 3-step method we have discussed. In the next video, we'll move from facts to opinions and explore yes, no, not given, including how it differs from true, false, not given, and the common traps to watch out for. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with others, and subscribe to Beyond Classroom for more IELTS preparation videos. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.